Good afternoon, traders, or good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Hope you're all well. Welcome to the live stream. I've got lots to discuss with you today. We've had a really good trading day today. What was looking like a pretty bad month. We had a real result yesterday, and I'm going to show you all the trades that came in. So we'll look at those. Also, we are going to announce the winner of the other 5K challenge, courtesy of Blueberry Funded. So we'll do that quickly, guys. And remember, if you want to be in with a chance of winning $5,000 prop firm challenge every week, then please come join our Discord, right? I put really easy questions, all trading questions in there, and you can win if you reply. So go check that out as well, guys. What else are we going to look at? We are going to take as many of your questions as humanly possible. So get all your questions over to me, guys. And ask me anything, right? I am not shy, neither are you. So ask me anything, but probably not about certain things. Anyway, so that's the plan, guys. That's what we're going to do. We'll take a quick look at the economic calendar. Let's look at yesterday, really. Yesterday, all the news come out as expected, right? We had the BOJ interest rate decision, and we had the Fed interest rate decision, right? So the aftermath of that, really, okay, is the US dollar is still crazy weak, right? If we look at the, sorry guys, this is actually a strategy I'm devising for the New York Open, and you saw the secrets there. It's not a secret, but I'll be sharing that in the VIP Discord, guys. Pound US dollar. Just look at the US dollar pairs. The US dollar keeps losing out. Right, I know we're having a bit of a retrace today on this US dollar, but yeah, US dollar is super weak. And if we look at the NASDAQ, right, that just keeps ticking up. So again, this is the strategy we're looking at. I'm going to remove this. How unprofessional. But yeah, the indices still keep ticking up, right? So if we look at S&P, right, still ticking up. We are at highs here, right? It'll be interesting to see what happens here. And the Dow Jones, right, where the Dow Jones has just been consolidating at these highs. And if we go back to the NASDAQ, that too is literally at these last highs over here. So it's going to be really interesting to see what reaction we get at these highs. Because when I look at currency pairs, the first thing I look at is the indice, right? Because the indice is going to give you a lot of clues as to what could happen, right? If the indices are bullish, then Aussie dollar will typically be bullish, and flight to safeties will be weak, like yen or gold's in a class of its own, or Swiss franc. So it's really important we understand what's going on with the indices. And like I say, we're back at these highs. The Fed didn't do anything to stop this upward momentum with the indices. That was sort of the fallout after the Fed. If we look at today, guys, we do have some more US dollar news, right? So we've got initial jobless claims coming out at 5:30 Dubai time, which is 1:30 GMT. So yeah, that will be important as well. I'm not in any US dollar pairs at the moment. What else before we get started, guys, I wanted to tell you a few things. So first of all, Liverpool won 6-0. Woohoo! So we're happy about that, although I do have to stay up till about 2 a.m. to watch Liverpool games. That's the only drawback because of the time difference. Secondly, yesterday evening, I also went to see Wicked the musical at Dubai Opera House, and I thought it was very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was getting into all the songs. It was good. So, yeah, I recommend it. And what was the other thing I wanted to share with you? Can't remember. Anyway, let's carry on and talk about trading. Right, let's see who is in the house. So we're getting lots of people in. Luigi, hi. So Luigi was one of the winners of the 5K challenge yesterday. We got Neil. Liverpool had a wickedly good night. I see what you've done there, Neil. You've had Liverpool and wicked, both of the things that I did combined. You should be a poet, Neil. Adrian, hi Tom and all. Man United fan, Adrian. Don't hold it against him. Ravi, hi. Max, how are you, mate? Zaringa, hi. Lee, hi. Right, okay. We're getting some questions coming in. Right, let's just look at like I said, that what was turning into a bit of a bad month. We had a real turnaround yesterday, guys. Right, and all I keep doing is just trusting in my system and following my trades. Right, and yesterday I shared these trades with you. Right, I'm not in any new trades today, guys. Right, but if we look at the H4, right, we had Swiss franc yen, that came up and hit target, right? I took 100% profit there. We had Euro New Zealand dollar, right? That came all the way down. You know, that went a long distance in one day, right? But come down and hit target. And we had New Zealand yen. And that came up and hit target. Right, and this was a 1 to roughly 1.6, right? So we had a nice trade there, and I'm still letting some profit run. So yeah, really good day, guys, and they all sort of came in together. I'm still in New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, right? But this is also looking good, right? I'm still looking to take price back up to these highs. And there's nothing on the H4 that would suggest otherwise, right? We're kind of here, right? We've broken that last high, we've bounced off. You know, chances are we will make it back up and hit target. And just looking at the candles, guys, right, so far it's looking pretty good. Yeah, so yeah, there you go, guys. Really good week. Well, really good day really yesterday. What else? Although I closed some of these this morning, it depends what your time zone is, but good 24 hours, shall we say. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Let's start taking a few questions now. There's something else I wanted to tell you, but I cannot bloody remember it. Never mind. I did say ask me anything. Brett said, Tom, I need help to make sweet American-style pancakes. Never had them before. I have no idea what to have on them. Are they breakfast? Are they dessert? This is more difficult than trading. It's one of those, you know, big problems in life, right? I'm going to say for Americans, pancakes is breakfast, right? For the rest of us, it's really just on pancake day and it's more of a dessert. And to have on it, I love a bit of maple syrup, you know, a bit of lemon and sugar. Old school. Glad we gathered that one. Right, what else we got? Lee, hi Tom, I have a question for you and anyone else to answer. When you first started trading, did you tell anyone else, family, friends, etc.? Personally, only my girlfriend and parents know. Yes, I did. So this is what I do in life, right? And also, guys, just after this question, we're going to reveal the winner of the next 5K challenge because I forget. Now, so if I think of things in my life, like maybe some big things that I've decided to do. Well, like one was to sort of give up my job eventually and start trading. One was to move to Dubai, right? That was quite a big one. One was to start my own company, right? And one was to get married. That's quite a big one, right? But what I do is, if I'm going to do anything, right, and just more recently, it's not a big life decision, but you know, having 50 days off, I'm not drinking for 50 days, right? So what I do, so for Dubai, moving to Dubai, for example, I put it out in the universe. So I say I am not I'm good. I tell all my friends and family I'm going to move to Dubai. And then I keep saying it to the point that if you don't do it, you look like an idiot, right? You just look like you're all talk and no trousers, as we used to say, right? So I'm a big believer in putting things out in the universe, so much so that you will look like an idiot if you don't do it, right? So one of those things was trading, right? So I told everyone, I said, right, I'm going to become a trader. You know, I said I'm going to become a full-time trader, right? Now, it took years, right? Questioned myself many times, like, can I do it? I'm sure you've all asked these questions yourself, right? You know, there was dark days, blown accounts, lost a lot of money, you know, thinking, can I do it? But because I put it out there and I set myself this goal and also set myself up to fail a little bit by telling everyone, it galvanized me and made me more determined than ever to do something. And that goes for whatever it was, even if it was trading, right? You know, many years later, you know, I trade full time, right? So, yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't care what people think. So, you know, if you know, I have comments like, "Oh, trading is gambling," and you know, you're just a gambler, or you know, like I get these comments. And trading, right? I done a little short the other day. Is gambling, right? You're placing a trade and you don't know the outcome, right? That's gambling. But you know, the idea is to understand how to read charts and put the favor of probability, put it in your favor, right? And that's what trading is. You just need a small edge. If you have a win percentage of 55%, you know, depending on what your risk to reward is, you could have a win percentage of 40% and still do very nice out of trading. So all you got to do is just tilt that scale of probability a little bit, and you know, you will become a successful trader, right? But then you've got to do it consistently, not let your emotions get involved, you know, and all the things we normally talk about. But yeah, I would say put it out there. And, you know, in the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, sod all the naysayers, right? They're like, oh, you can't do it. You know, 90% of people can't do it. You know, you've got to get a proper job. And I'd rather shoot myself than have a proper job. I've had proper jobs, right? Done it for many years. But, you know, yeah, tell people, put it out there, put some pressure on yourself so that you do it and you don't, you know, because if you don't do it, you look stupid, right? And, you know, that's guided me in life pretty well. You know, it's led me to living in Dubai, meeting my wife, having kids, being a full-time trader, right? So, yeah, there's my couple of pence on that subject. Good question, Lee. Fine. Right, what else are we looking at? Right, I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We are going to show everyone the winner of the 5K challenge. So here is my wheel of names. I apologize on TikTok. I know you can see this on TikTok. So all you have to do was join our Discord channel and answer one of our questions of the day. And then you are in with a chance of winning a $5,000 funded challenge, courtesy of Blueberry Funded or E8 Markets, right? And, you know, so just join the free Discord. And we give away a one or two $5,000 challenges every week. So come join the free Discord. Right, let's see who's going to win. Right, we got S-Zone, Niraj, Mr. Elusive, and Manny. I like Manny because of Manny Pacquiao. Let's go. S-Zone, come on down. You are a winner. Get in contact on the Discord, DM me, and we will sort out your $5,000 funded challenge. Right, what else are we looking at? Okay, Ravi says here, ask me anything. Could be a nice title for these sessions. It could be. Yeah, ask me anything. I really don't mind. But yeah, I dread to think where it could take us. Anyway, what else we got here, guys? Okay, we've turned into a baking show and about pancakes. Right, let's have a look at Dan Laguna. Tom, have you ever traded exotic pairs like the Norwegian krone or Mexican peso? Yes, I've traded them. You know, I've traded everything, to be honest with you. But I don't now because it's all about spread, right? So let's have a look at, Mexican peso. So if we look at, sorry, my mic is always in the way. So if we look at the Mexican peso, right? Why is this taking forever? Okay, that's a bad example. Let's have a look at the Mexican peso against the US dollar. Does anyone know the code for it? What the hell am I looking at? Guys, what's the code? I can't remember what the code is for the Mexican against the US dollar. Is it here? Anyway, guys, the problem with them is this, right? It's the spread. Christ, my mic's bashing things and everything. What about the krona? Let's have a look at the euro against the Danish krona, right? I mean, just look at that, right? There's an exotic, right? Euro against the Danish krona, just an example. And it's the spread, right? You know, the spread on the Mexican peso against the US dollar, you know, when I remember trading it, it was like 30 pips, right? You know, don't get me wrong, it moves very fast, but you're 30 pips offside. So the problem with exotics is the spread, right? And I don't know what I'm looking at here. It's the spread, because if you go to euro US dollar, it will literally be zero. Yeah, there you go. It's zero, right? So if you look at, what am I doing today? Bear with me, guys. It's staying up late and watching the Liverpool game. That's what it is. But, you know, it's all about spread. So if you think of an exotic pair and the spread is 30 or even 5, it's expensive to trade, right? Because you're 5 pips offside before you even get started. So I want to trade currency pairs where the spread is minimal, right? And I haven't traded Mexican peso, krona. You know, I've tried them in the past, but I haven't traded them for years. So I don't know if the commissions are different or what, but it's the spread. And you usually get a lot of gap ups, gap downs because of that spread. And these gap ups and gap downs, they make for tricky trading conditions as well, right? As soon as I see a gap up or gap down, I immediately think the market wants to fill it, right? Regardless of the trend. So yeah, it becomes tricky. So I'm not saying no, don't trade them. A few guys I know trade the Singaporean dollar against the US dollar, but I believe the spread is not that bad. What is going on here? Why am I picking such? Yeah, so there you go. Singaporean dollar against the US dollar. Okay, so that you can see the spread's 8, right? And you do get a few gap ups all the time. There's another gap up. You know, this is on the H4. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of trading them for those reasons, Dan Laguna. Are the Gunas in action tonight, by the way, or were they last night? I can't remember. Like I say, I've stayed up far too late. What else are we looking at? Right, we're going to turn this into a pancake show. Is anyone in? Lee's already subscribed to Pancake 101. Right, Luigi, here we go. US dollar MXN. Right, thank you, Luigi, for helping me out there. Right, so let's have a look at FXCM, right? So there you go, guys, right? Look at the spread. Right now it's 11. Right, if we look at the daily chart, this is where you'll see some, okay, so there's not too many gap ups or gap downs, but the spread's 11. Right, whereas you can trade the euro US dollar and the spread's 0. Right, get my drift. Thank you, Luigi. I would have been there all day. Right, what else are we looking at, guys? Okay, Dan Laguna, Arsenal won last night as well. Right, I'll tell you what we're going to do now is we are going to look at the US dollar Mexican peso. As we've brought it up, let's do a top-down approach, right? Yeah, let's do it, right? So, you know, this is how I look at the market all day, every day, right? So we're going to do the same right now, guys, and take you through my process. Before we do, if I could please ask everyone to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button and smash the like button. Also, guys, check above my head. Please come join our free Discord channel. It is free. But not only that, right, we are going to give you a free live stream. I've just brought it up on the screen every Sunday at 5 p.m. And our in-house trader, Brett, shares his levels that he's looking at for the week ahead. And those guys using the price action pro indicator, pinpointing these levels are killing it, right? They're getting far better results than I am, which is slightly worrying. But yeah, you know, check it out, guys. Go join it. You know, it's a great watch and it sets you up for the week. All right, so go check that out. That's part of the free Discord. Also, go check out the website if you want access to any of our premium trading education. Get my teeth in. Then go check out the website. There's something on there for you. Right, we've got indicator, we've got the VIP Trading Academy, we've got mentorship program, we've got the course. So go check it all out. And right now, for the course, we have this promo running. So just check this out. Traders, it's 2026, and if you're here, then I'm sure you want to make this the year where you start trading like a pro and start achieving real consistency and real results. Right now, there is 50% off the Simply Forex complete trading course, jam-packed with almost 20 years of my trading experiences, skills, strategies, and tools. And if that's not enough, once you have completed the course, you will get 2 one-hour mentorship sessions with me, Trader Tom, included in the price. This offer finishes on the 15th of February, so don't delay. Click on the link in the vid description and use the code at checkout. Okay then, guys, yeah, so go check that out. Great promotion on the course. You'll also get a couple of hours of mentorship with me. Anything you're interested in, all the links are in the video description, so go check it out. There's more links in there than B.A. Baracus and his gold chains. I have never said that sentence before in my life. That was my first analogy with links. Okay, so what are we going to look at? Yeah, let's do a top-down approach together with Mexican peso. So let me zoom right out. Christ, the Mexican peso is very strong against the US dollar. So obviously we know US dollar's been weak, right? And falling off a cliff. Now, this probably won't take that long, but looking at the daily chart with US dollar Mexican peso, you've got 3 options, guys, right? Would you buy it? Would you sell it? Or would you stay out of this trade, right? That's it. That's how binary trading can be. So everyone, get involved right now. What would you do with US dollar Mexican peso? Buy it, sell it, or stay out of this market? Leave your answer in the live chat. While you do that, I'm going to drink. Raheel, don't worry. We will take a look at Euro Canadian dollar after this. And we'll look at pound yen as well, Gaz. Stay out, cautious sell, stay out. Anyone else, guys? Don't be shy. Get involved. You're here to learn. There's no such thing as a wrong answer. There is. There isn't. Stay out, stay out. Okay, so the majority of people are staying out, and I totally agree, right? This is the problem with the US dollar at the moment, right? Trump is killing it. Not in a, not killing it as in a positive way. He is destroying the US dollar. And just look how weak it is. Now, do you want to start? Obviously, right, you do not need to be Warren Buffett. We are in, let's just start here, right? We are in a downtrend, right? But do you really want to start selling here? Right? Answers on a postcard. You've just done the equivalent of answers on a postcard, and it's a resounding stay out, right? You do not want to sell that down here. There's no value. If we got a pullback to our smart river, right, which is part of our price action indicator, then okay, right? But we're not. There's just no value, right? Price is overextended. So just, I don't even need to look at anything else. That's how quickly I would assess US dollar Mexican peso. So when I wake up in the morning, have my bran flakes, blueberries, walnuts, and milk. That's exactly what I had this morning. I will then look at the charts, and I will spend 10 seconds. I'll be like, right, daily chart, downtrend, super oversold, not interested, next one. Right, so this is a stay out. We're going to take a look at the week. Oh, let's not. Look, it's just one big stay out, right? It's just stay out. There's no value. You don't want to start selling there. Even if price does that, I still don't want to be selling there. It is not part of my strategy. There is no value, right? So there you go, guys. Right, let's take a look at a couple of questions here. So EuroCAD, Rahil wants to look at Euro Canadian dollar. So let's start with the daily chart. Now, if you said to me, so this is going to be daily versus weekly, right? And you must look at multiple time frames. And this is going to be a really good example, right? So on Euro Canadian dollar, we are clearly in an uptrend, right? Higher lows, potentially here, we don't know yet. Higher highs, right? We're definitely in an uptrend. Now, and we've retraced all the way to our smart river, and we're in a lovely zone. There's so much value there to move into, right? Potentially all the way up to there. But I've got to ask you, would you buy into, let me do that again. Would you buy into that candle? Right? No. Yeah, is the straightforward answer, right? You would not buy into that. In perhaps a day's time or 2 days' time, let's say this candle finishes like this, and then the next candle, looks something like this. Is a green candle, right? Then, okay, I'm interested. Let's start buying, right? But right now, I do not want to buy into all of this selling pressure. Now, if we look at the weekly chart, right, you've got to bear in mind, two things, right? Tomorrow is Friday. Now, we still got a sort of a day and a half of trading, but would you want to buy into that weekly candle? No, but this weekly candle hasn't finished forming. And another thing you need to consider is Trump, right? So we were basically here, and then we're here, right? And remember this this level could still potentially hold, right? This is Trump. This is Trump putting, potential tariffs on Canada. There was huge weakness coming to the Canadian dollar. Everyone thinks Trump's at it again. He's talking more crap, and will he go through with it? Probably not. Excuse me. And then the market has just, it's like boy who cries wolf. And the market has just come back down and carried on, in the original trend that it was in, right? So if I got this big weekly candle, I would very much be looking for sells, right? Potentially down to here. So the daily and weekly are quite different at the moment, right? But if the weekly finishes like this, I'm looking to sell it. And right now, you have to bear in mind, you've only got, let's say today's candle finishes like this, and then tomorrow is Friday. And let's just say you get a candle that looks like that, still bullish, right? A lot of people will be thinking, right, should we buy that? But even if you get a bullish candle there, the weekly candle will basically look like this. There'll just be a little wick there instead, right? Not buying into that. So EuroCAD for me is still a sell trade, right? Even though the daily chart is telling me an uptrend, an uptrend. So it'd be interesting to see how EuroCAD finishes this week, guys. Right, what else are you looking at? Pound yen. I've entered a buy this morning. So Gaz, pound, Japanese yen, I've entered a buy this morning. So we had a nice bit of success with yen trades yesterday, right? Now, can we expect that to continue? Now, the first thing we must put in is this support level, right? And that is holding very much so, right? We're in this daily uptrend, and this is where we're at, right? So potentially, right, this might end up ranging, right? When you get daily resistance, daily support, right? We might end up with something like this. Okay, so bearing in mind that this is in a daily uptrend potential range, and we've got this nice big bullish candle form, I like buy trades back up to these highs. Now, the thing that keeps, and I shouldn't, right? It's absolute noise, right? But I just keep hearing like BOJ intervention, Bank of Japan intervention, right? Yen's so weak, there'll be some intervention. Well, I keep hearing it's noise. I wish I didn't hear this noise sometimes, right? It's just noise. Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows if the BOJ are going to interfere. Sometimes they interfere and don't even tell you, right? So nobody knows. So, but that noise is playing on my mind, and it really shouldn't. So from a purely technical point of view, this is a lovely buy trade, right? It really is. If we look at the weekly now as well, this fills me less with confidence, right? Because again, this is not noise, this is fact, right? So all I do, guys, and I suggest all that you do, is look at facts, not hearsay, not what could happen. Look at facts on a chart and make your own mind up, right? So daily, the facts said 100% buy trade, right? Now on the weekly, if we just start down here, this is basically where we're at, right? We're in an uptrend, clearly, right? You didn't need me to tell you that about any yen pair, but we're a bit overextended. I mean, look at the smart river. This is the mean of the chart, right? The chart always wants to revert back to the mean, right? So we're overextended, and look at these top wicks. That worries me about buying into that, right? Again, fact, there are sellers in here, right? You do not get wicks like that unless there's strong selling. Fact, right? It's not me magicking things out the top of my head. Made me think of Wicked last night, the musical. Anyway, it's a fact. So weekly is not telling me to buy. So in fact, this wouldn't be a trade for me for those reasons, right? Now, if we look at the H4 just to carry this on, what we haven't done is break this level. Right, you can see it. Let's start it back there. Right? But that is clearly a level, right? Resistance, 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 support, support. That has become a very important level for pound yen. Right now, if we start getting bearish reactions and it coming down, obviously we're not interested in buying at all. And I'm not really interested in buying this, but you know, if you are in a buy trade, as you explained, I'd want to see a break of this level. If we get a break of this level, that's going to give me real confidence for price to come higher. But right now, it's not looking too good that, you know, this level really looks like it's holding at the moment. But let's wait until, you know, New York opens and see where this goes. But yeah, it's all about this level for me. All right. So yeah, hope that helps, Gaz. Okay, this is very nice of someone to say. Best channel for FX traders, not paid, but convinced. I really recommend the Price Action 101 group. The strategies there work great. Whoever you are, HGK, I will pay you later. But it's true, guys, right? The Price Action Pro indicator and the strategies derived from it, the guys in there are getting some incredible results, right? So if you do want a very simple mechanical strategy that doesn't require a lot of time, right? We have a lot of people who work full time in that room, right? And they love it because it requires minimal screen time. Plus the results are there, right? So go check it out, guys, right? You know, and like any of these things, you know, give it a go for a month, right? If you don't like it, you haven't got to carry on. If you do and you're profitable, you know, you won't look back. So yeah, check it out, guys. Max says, sorry, I contribute to that noise. Max, mate, you do, you know, we always love your trade ideas in the Discord channel. And yeah, we always enjoy your input, mate. And I try not to listen to all that noise. But I always agree with your technicals on the chart, I must say. Zaringa, great. That was awesome, Tom. Thanks. No problem. And guys, right, if you enjoy my analysis and you want to show your support, you can. You can become a member of our Simply Forex YouTube channel. I think it's like $1 a month. So if you want to show your support, come join us. Right, any other questions, guys, that we're looking at? I think we sort of covered them all there. Let me have a look at my New Zealand Swiss franc trade that I'm still in. Okay, so this hasn't quite hit target, but these are the sort of candles we want to see, right? I've also got 20% running on New Zealand yen. And again, like if I see this candle stay like this, right, I'm going to trail it aggressively. Right, I'll trail it below that low. I'll just keep trailing my stop loss, right, and see where it takes us. So yeah, they're looking good, guys. Like I say, we wasn't in any new trades today. I am looking at a couple of things. Euro pound is one of them, right? Because if you look at the weekly, right, we was in this weekly uptrend, right? And now I'm going to say that is a level, we're kind of here, right? We're in a downtrend, and we've broken down below this key level through here. And we've clearly bounced off of it. And this is the weekly. And I'll tell you why I like this as well, is because of the monthly. So if we look at the monthly, right, again, you remember me talking about our smart river, which is part of our indicator. Price wants to come back to it, right? This is the mean. You know, never in the history of trading has price not come back to the mean, right? When come back to the mean, left it, come back to the mean, left it, come back to the mean, right? It always does it. Really left it, come back to the mean. It will always do that, right? So bearing that in mind, you know, there's probably a bit more room to come down into, right? And this support level here, and this 0.86 is a nice level, right? If we go to the day chart now as well, it's scruffy. That's the problem here. Now, I like it as a sell trade now, right? I do, but you know, you could say this, right? We're in this daily uptrend. Now, an aggressive trade would be start selling this now to take it down to here, or we wait for a break of these lows, big, you know, a bearish daily candle, we get a retrace, and then we come lower, right? But ultimately, I like euro pound sells, and I'm also looking at pound Canadian dollar. But again, I'm caught in a bit of two minds here. Because of this, because if you look at the weekly, right, it's the same with EuroCAD. You remember me talking to you about that? Now, you know, if this finished like this, bearing in mind we've only got one day, I don't want to buy into it, right? But if we look at the day chart, this candle's very different than EuroCAD, right? And bearing in mind, I want to sell euro pound. So this trade makes more sense to me than euro Canadian dollar. And I want to buy this because look at this candle. Look at that wick rejection at this level, right? So I'm liking the daily a lot, okay? If you compare that with EuroCAD's candle, right? You know, I don't want to buy this candle, right? But pound Canadian dollar, very different. Right, there you go. Now, I've said to myself this, right? I'm going to trade this two ways, right? Now, if this comes all the way back down to these lows, right, and I get a nice bullish H4 candle, I would consider entering. Or I get a break of this H4 level here. I would also consider entering there. So that's what I'm waiting for. You can see my two alarms. You know, I always plan ahead of time. There's no surprises. My day's very dull, boring. So should yours be. So that's what I'm waiting for, guys. I'm either waiting for excellent value in here, or we get a structure break. So we shall see with pound Canadian dollar. All right, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button and smash the like button. Please come join our trading community. You will not be disappointed. You'll get your free live stream at 5 p.m. UK time on Sunday, plus much, much more. Check out the website and also check out our promotion we have running with our world-class preferred broker, Pepperstone. Check it all out, guys. All the links are in the video description, and I'll see you soon. Please come join. Please check out the weekly Forex forecast on Saturday, where I give you all of my trades for that following week. Okay, see you later, guys.